This is where things stand at the end of the 12-20 turn, which is the first turn of this battle scenario. The first chit that was drawn was the reinforcement chit. So the 2nd French Division came on board the map, and they are maneuvering via administrative march towards the village of Elvina. Now, the next chit that was pulled was for the French, and what they've done is begin to move their units of the corps that activated. The 1st Division began to move towards the village of Elvina, and the corps artillery moving that direction as well. The idea being to try to get up on these heights here in front of the British and bombard them from that position. Then the 3rd French Division, over here near Pied-Aragon, I will probably butcher the pronunciation several times before I get it right. They moved forward and engaged the British brigade opposite them. The artillery that had unlimbered did remove a British light company. That's the first casualty of the battle. Now, the next chit that was pulled was the British activation, and they had opted to have their 1st Division have the maneuver unit. And so one of the brigades here moved forward towards Elvina, and then the other one moved forward to support. And that's where things stand at the moment. This is where things stand at the end of the 12-40 turn. The British got the first draw and moved elements of the 1st Division forward, trying to get into the town of Elvina, or at least make it a challenge for the French. Those little one markers there indicate spots where British light companies used to be. They were eliminated over the course of the turn due to defensive and offensive fire from the French. Meanwhile, next chit that was drawn was for the leaders. Crawford began to move forward, looking to move into this gap between the 1st and 2nd British divisions here as a reinforcement. And then the regroup chit was drawn, and his brigade began to move forward behind him. Then the French activation was drawn. We had a little bit of combat over here with the 3rd Division of the French doing some damage to the British, but for the most part just staying back and letting the artillery and skirmishers do some work. Meanwhile, the French moved their 1st Division in towards Elvina and unlimbered some artillery and began to do some damage against the British. They did take a couple of increments losses, but they did more damage to the British than they received. We are at the conclusion of the 1 p.m. turn, and this is how things have sorted themselves out. The British got the first activation, and they moved elements of the 1st Division forward to contest Elvina. They started to use their superior musketry and had caused some damage to the French, enough to get one of the French battalions to rout. But they did lose a fair number of their light companies, and so they don't have as much of their screen of skirmishers as they had before. Meanwhile, the French got the next activation. Over on this front, some more damage done, some more light companies destroyed, but for the most part pretty quiet. And then in the center part here, French were moving in, doing some more damage. They had a chance to unlimber another battery, and so here we have a bunch of batteries concentrating, really doing some damage on the British in this zone. Then further out, the French 2nd Division is coming in, finishing up its administrative march. And then over on the other side of the map here, the French have reinforcements, which is a group of dragoons, and they're marching in road order, coming in towards Elvina as their destination, kind of hoping to come around on the British and catch them over here on the flank, kind of forcing them back. So we'll see how that pans out.